Hi guys, welcome back to the part 4 of hospital series. Today we are going to be discussing about global health, also known as Medanta. Okay, so if you look at Medanta, the business model is similar to the likes of a Jupiter Lifeline Hospital or Yatharth. What I mean is they are a super specialty hospital. 80% of the revenue comes from super specialty, and not just that. If you look, like I told you, one common feature among these three hospitals is they are much more regional hospital. They started from an area and they're just doing that adjacent areas. Unlike your Max or Apollo, which has a pan-India kind of presence. Okay, so if you look at Medanta over here, if you look at their hospitals, it is located in Gurugram, Indore, Ranchi, Lucknow and Patna. Okay, these are the five more or less locations that they're located in. Okay, and if you look at their payer mix, they have 60% coming from cash, 25 to 30% coming from insurance, and hardly 10% coming from your government schemes. Okay, so overall you can tell, right, if you look at all these Jupiter, Yatharth and this Medanta, you see that the cash part over here is more compared to anybody else, the other two over there. Okay, now if you look at the sales hardly grew by 10%, and the PAT that is there grew by 5% on a year-on-year basis. Now why is that the case? Why is that the sales hardly grew by 10% over here, right? And if you've seen this company earlier, it used to be a company with growth plus capex. Okay, because they used to grow by good 25 to 30% kind of growth they were getting, and now that you see, it is hardly a 10% growth engine. So what the over here, what is the reason? Is because there are certain of their hospitals that are not, like, one is the occupancy over there, it is being very hard to fill. Okay, that is one of the reasons. Okay, even if you look at the occupancy is at 9, it's grown by 9% on a year-on-year basis, and ARPOB grew only 2% on a year-on-year basis, and the total occupancy as we talk is at 64.3% as of Q2 FY25 ka end. Okay, now over here the pace of growth coming down is the biggest drawback, I'll tell you, because see, whenever you talk about a hospital, you need growth and capex both now, because growth as of now current for the business, and when you talk about capex, it is the future growth, like aage ka growth kahan se aayega, because when you talk about a hospital, there is only limited. See, a hospital can have 400 to 500 beds. The occupancy over there, it is 80%. After that, what else? The revenue can become stagnant over a period of time. That is why you would need further capex, so that you can have incremental growth going forward in the future over here. Now if you look at the capex as of this H1 FY25, they have 3008 beds. Okay, 3008 beds, and they plan to take it up to 5908 beds. So literally you can tell 3000 say 5900, almost double bed capacity. But the question comes is, when will this bed addition or this bed capacity increase in beds are we going to see? How long is it going to take? Is it going to be 3 years? Is it going to be 4 years, or even God knows 5 years? That is the main question. Now why is that so? Like I told you, they have 5 hospitals over here in Gurugram, Indore, Ranchi, Lucknow and all, right? So what is happening is there is brownfield expansion happening over here, right? With the existing capacity only, they're adding additional beds. Okay, now over here there is a visibility for this part, right? If you look as of H1, right, in Gurugram they've added 49 beds, in Lucknow they've added 98 beds. In Lucknow they've added 52 beds, and in Patna they've added total of 66 beds, right? And all of this has been added in H1. Now going forward, they are doing all is greenfield expansion. Okay, and when this greenfield expansion that you're talking about, what they're doing is, they're getting a land, constructing the hospital. So what is happening over here, when you do these things, right, a lot of times, when you have to do everything from scratch, your process can get delayed over here. Maybe you have some, maybe the government is not giving you approval with certain process, right? And as a result over here, this becomes a biggest headache. Actually, like, even though you're almost doubling the bed capacity, by when do you do it is actually becoming a question over here, because with Jupiter you have a timeline of 5 years, with Yatharth you have a timeline of 3 to 4 years, and I think they'll be way ahead before 3 years considering the acquisition they have done. But with Medanta, when does it become? Because the longer it is, first of all, you have to construct, and after that it takes 3 years for you to reach an occupancy of 30%, right? So time over here becomes very critical. Okay, so just to give you the capex ka plans that is there, in Noida they're coming up with a 550 beds, which will be out of this 550, they're going to do a capex like phase 1 and phase 2 capex. Phase 1 will have 300 beds, and this will be done by Q1 of FY26. Okay, then the other one is in South Delhi. This is a 400 bed where it is going to be a 50-50 partnership partnership between DLF and them. So basically DLF will construct everything, these people will take care of the operations and management. If you look at in Indore also, they're coming up with a 300 bed partnership. This is also with another real estate partner they're going to be doing. Similarly, like how in South Delhi they're going to be doing with DLF. Okay, in Mumbai recently they acquired a land. Okay, and here they can probably build a bed of 500 plus. They're waiting for some approval from some the development authorities. And the last, in Delhi, they have signed up a agreement with 750 with a specialty hospital, like with a society, where the society will be responsible for building the hospital, all getting the rights and everything. These people will just go and do the operations and management. They will take care of the entire the other facility part of it. Okay, so totally, can you see, in terms of greenfield expansion, there are 5 new hospitals that are coming, out of which Noida will be done by Q1 in like 3 quarters, and the other that is there, the Bombay one and Pitampura, it will take some time. It could take 4 years or 5 years so, because they are doing like literally right from scratch, right? The other 2, South Delhi and Indore, for which the construction has almost started here. Now these 2 have been put into a halt. Okay, like I told you, South Delhi ka 400 and Indore ka 300. In South
battery below 50% PNA.
Delhi mein, there is this this pollution which usually becomes worse in winter season. So now the Delhi authority has told that you can't cut any trees, you can't do any construction work because the pollution is going to get worse. So you have to halt all the construction. So this is a temporary thing. But the Indore one, which is a 300 bedded hospital that they were supposed to do in partnership with the real estate, yahan pe what happened, the land that you're supposed to build on, right, that land ka purchase is under litigation. Like buyer and seller is having a problem, and they have filed a case in the court, and so the entire situation is a bit ambiguous. You do not know when it could be solved, if it could be solved, and of course, right, unless and until you do not get the case is not done in the high court or the courts that you have applied to, you can't really go ahead with the work, you can't really construct. So as a result, because of these things, one is the ambiguousness with the high court with their Indore hospital. Although the DLF one is quite temporary, because they can start work probably in the next half of the year. But the other 2 hospitals also, like I told you, Bombay one and the other one in Delhi that is coming up. Okay, here also the same thing can happen over, right? The entire process can get delayed. It could be 4 years, it could be 5 years. So this becomes an issue. Now already we have one issue, that is the pace of growth has been slowed down over here, because you operate we do not see the pace of growth coming up, and on top of that the capex getting delayed, which means what, it becomes an overhang over here for this business, right? Totally, like earlier, if you see, like I told you, it was a good 25% ka growth engine. Capex was also happening at the right time. But right now, the most important thing, the pace of growth coming down over here, it has gone from a 25 to a 10% ka growth engine, and with that paying, I would say roughly like 50 times earnings over here, it makes it a very unattractive proposition, right? So that's that about Global Health Medanta. In the next video, we will be covering, in part 5, we will be covering Max Health and Apollo Health.